Not everything that shines is gold. Important reason why so many businesses fail. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Mind Engineer. I want to share insight and tools to understand why the different businesses fail and how to start avoiding that. So one of the things that I want to share with you is that nowadays the algorithm is getting better and better in showing you exactly what you're consuming. And as I start, exploring maybe different companies that are advertising on social media, it's going to start showing me more companies advertising in social media. So the other day I was going through social media and a guy popped up and said, "Aren't you tired of offering one-on-one sessions, charging cheap to be able to get clients?" Well, and he started talking on how you can start charging a lot of money and work less and be able to make more money. And that's exactly what people want to listen. If you think about that, what people want to listen is work less and make more money. Whatever is targeted to that is going to draw attention. The problem is, and I've been an entrepreneur now for 27 years, and I've been studying the mind now for 17 years on how it works, and mainly why do so many businesses fail? The main reason, one of the main reasons, it has to do that we tend to follow what shines, thinking that it's gold. So a person online is telling you that they have made, and maybe this guy has, I don't know, maybe 1 million followers, I don't know what, right? And he's telling you that he can teach you how to charge a lot and work less. It sounds very attractive. And I fell for that. Many years ago, around 8 years ago, I paid a company that was well-known in the US that had many reviews of people talking really well about them. And I signed up and I paid $10,000 to work with them. As I started working with them, I started realizing that what they were teaching in the program was exactly the same thing I could see around consuming for free on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on social media. So it's not that they were giving really the secret sauce to be able to make something amazing. It was the same thing. And that's on me, don't get me wrong. But the next thing that happened is that I fell into the cracks, and they said that they would offer you one-on-one coaching on demand. And I started asking for one-on-one coaching, and for 2 weeks, I had no response over social media, email, no matter what channel I used to try to contact them to get my one-on-one sessions. They wouldn't give them to me. It was a lie that they were telling you that they would be on demand, but they wouldn't offer that. And as I started talking to people inside of the program, I started seeing that less than 1% of the people in that program were making the promise that the company was telling you at the beginning. When I talked to them, they had told me that I had experience. I had been doing this for several years. And according to my supposed picture that I told them where I was, that I was going to be able to make $3,500 in the first 15 days, that I would get a client for $3,500, $3,500, and then I was going to be able to get in more people into. And it didn't happen. I started asking around to see how many people were doing that. Less than 1% of the people in that program, and I talked to a lot of people in that program, most of them, less than 1%, were not being able to do that. So many times we fall for these shiny objects telling us, oh, buy this gold, you're going to make a lot of money. Now it's AI. Now with AI, how you could become a billionaire. How one person, business can, with AI, develop a billion-dollar company. And it is true. Yes, of course. I don't know if it already happened, but it's going to happen eventually. If it didn't happen already, it's going to happen. But that doesn't mean that the other 99% of people out there, 99.9%, are going to be able to do it. So unfortunately, ads are directed in telling you exactly what you want to listen, but that is not necessarily the truth. Because there's no regulation normally, although there's a little bit in the US with the regulation, very little, I have collected so much different deceiving ads out there, deceiving people out there, And I have it. I put it into a folder, screenshots of people telling you how they can teach you how to make $1 million in the next 6 months, how to make $10 million in the next year. But you know what? I've been studying this from different programs, different people around that I've been talking to. And now it's been 8-9 years that I've been online, specifically with coaching and seeing the market out there and talking to a lot of people. Less than 1%. And I even have proof. I went online and started studying, what's his name? ClickFunnels with Russell Brunson, right? He shows in his One Comma Club award that you can make $1 million in a year with one funnel. You're one funnel away. His phrase is one funnel away. One funnel away, but it doesn't say from what? From $1 million. And he showcases the people that are using ClickFunnels and are making $1 million. So I went online and started looking for statistics, and I found some. I think it was from 2012, 2014. I don't remember exactly, but it said that there were more or less 200,000 people that had signed up to use ClickFunnels. And how many people had made the 2 Comma Club Award, the $1 million 2 Comma Club Award? It was less than 1%. So what I'm seeing over and over again is that, according to the claims people say, how to make 6 figures in three months, in 90 days, how to make $1 million in 90 days, how to blah, 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 less than 1%. And the worst thing is that most of these companies, because I have gone into Facebook, into groups, to different places and exposed some of these people, all of them that I have exposed, all of them would say, if I have a client that has achieved that and another one hasn't, the problem is that client. It's not my program. So they would blame, that's how they sleep well at night, these people, telling themselves that if somebody achieved it and 99% didn't, that's their problem. Yes, they're blaming the people that are not getting results. And don't get me wrong, if I have a program and 98% of people are getting results and 2% are not, 4% are not, yeah, we can, or 10% or 15 or even maybe 20, I can still sleep okay at night because, I can think that it's that percent of people. I could still try to improve my program. Don't get me wrong, but I can still say, okay, yeah, it's fair. 80% of people are getting results, whatever that is, the result they're getting, 20 are not. Yeah, your program is good. But telling me that 90, 95, 99% of the people in that program are not getting the promised results, that speaks about the program, not about the people in the program. And unfortunately, listen to this, because it's amazing how they play with psychology, and this is total bullshit. What they're doing, guys, is people, as they telling you in the program, and they did this in the program and signed up for $10,000, they told me one of the first videos, if you don't get results, that's on you. You are not doing what needs to be done. You got blah, blah, blah. And they would go to blaming the person, blaming me, supposedly, if I'm not getting results. But as you start finding out that 99% of people in that program are not getting results, it makes sense that, okay, wait, it has nothing to do with me. It's a shitty program that they don't have the right tools to really help me achieve this. So listen to this. What happens for most people is they feel so ashamed of investing $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it was, or more, and not getting the results. They feel so much shame that they would rather shut up and not talk about it, so nobody finds out. If 99% of the people out there spending $2, $3, $5, $10, even more $1,000 in different programs to lose weight, to make money, to learn about AI and make millions or whatever, change their mindset, and paying millions, or not millions, sorry, paying thousands to somebody that is making millions to help them achieve something, When they cannot achieve it, how the mind works is there's something really wrong with me. That's why I'm not getting results. They don't realize that 99% of people in that program, and I'm not saying all of them, don't get me wrong, but 99% of people in those programs are not getting results. I have a very success rate in the work that I do, but I don't promise people that they're going to make $1 million in the next 6 months, 3 months, or they're going to make 6 figures in the next 3 months. Because first of all, I didn't make 6 figures in the first 3 months. So, and people might say, oh, but Tommy, I did it. And I studied the psychology behind those people that are telling that they made 6 figures in 3 months and 90 days. And you know what? In all of the people that I've studied, all of them were promising you that you could make 6 figures in the next 3 months. So actually what happened normally is they learned a tactic to tell people that they can make $1 million, 6 figures, whatever, in the next 6 weeks, 6 months, 3 months, whatever. So you pay me to teach you how to make that money when actually I didn't make it. That's what I've seen over and over again. People that are selling the big dream that they achieve by selling a lie to others. They achieve it. It's not that they achieved it. Somebody that, except very few people that suddenly became a millionaire by doing mindset work, teaching mindset. There are a couple, but compared to all the people out there that are trying to make a living out of being a mindset coach or a business coach, if you look at the numbers, and I looked them up, you can look them up in any AI nowadays, it's much easier to do some research. Look at the numbers of what is the average salary or the average income of a mindset coach. And it says that most of them are making less than $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Most of them, a high percentage, I don't remember the numbers now. I researched this several years ago. It was very low. That doesn't mean that it's not possible to make good money. But there's a but, yes. Unfortunately, the people that are telling you that you can make a lot of money with your business doing blah, whatever it is, they are making a lot of money out of the people that are being sold into that lie. And the problem is, as you consume those lies, you start seeing more of those lies. So when you're online and you're watching people saying that they have made $1 million in 6 months, a year with mindset coaching, with business coaching, with marketing, with whatever, you start seeing more of those videos. So you start creating a small environment when you start seeing more and more people that have achieved that you maybe want to achieve. So eventually, as you see more and more, you start thinking that that is the truth. But what if that is a partial truth? That you're just seeing a small spectrum of people that are bombarding the social media platforms with ads saying that they can teach you how to make $1 million in 3 months, 6 months, a year, or whatever, through their specific, unique method to make a money printing machine. Think about that. You start seeing more of that. So as you start seeing more of that, you start confirming that it's possible. And then what happens, as maybe a lot of those people are not able to get those results, they feel shame, they feel inadequate, they feel not good enough, they feel they failed, and they shut down, and they don't say anything to anyone. But because who wants to raise their hand and say, hey, you know what? I was scammed $10,000. Hey, I spent a lot of money in different coaching programs, business programs, business coaching programs, whatever, marketing programs, and most of them didn't work for me. How many people have you heard saying that? Compared to the amount of people you're hearing saying that they're doing great with their business, that they're making tons of money, and they can teach you how to make tons of money. Before it was Shopify, then it was Amazon, then it was coaching, then it was, affiliate marketing, then it was trading, then it was cryptocurrency. Now it's AI. The new boom on making money fast and easy is AI. So you know who's making a lot of money? The people that are selling you the course to make a lot of money in AI. But the people actually using AI to make money, very few of them, a very small percentage are doing it. So I'm sorry that I'm telling you this. It's not to pop your balloon. I truly believe that you can make a good living if you put all yourself in and you keep doing it, even if nothing is happening, even if things are not working, because that was me when I started many years ago in many businesses, nothing happened. And eventually, as I kept on going, eventually it started growing. I grew a business very successful, an emergency care training facility, and it's still, you can look it up if you want. And I've been growing my coaching business. What I'm doing for now, this has been, I started learning all of this 17 years ago. I started helping people, kind of for free inside of my other company, in the training facility. I would also use coaching. I help a lot of people through that. And then around 8 or 9 years ago, I started online full time with this. And when I started, I was making zero money. And as I started working with people for free, this is what Alex Hermosi teaches, Gary Vee teaches, is start working for free. And I started working with people for free. I then started asking for a little bit of money. First, I think it was $10 for a session. Then I went up to $20 for a while. Then I went up to 30, 35. Then I think I went to 40, 45, 50, and I kept on going up. That's how I build my business. And it goes like this. When people talk about predictability, if you look at ads, start looking at coaching ads, marketing coaching, business coaching ads, you're going to listen to different things. Charge more, work less. Those are magic words. Another one, have predictability in your business. That is one of the biggest lies you're going to hear. Seriously. There's no one person that I work with that has been an entrepreneur for years, and me included, now 28 years, that have seen predictability, like making $5,000 a month, every month, let's say, or $10,000 or $15,000. I have worked with many, many different people that were making maybe 1 month 30, the other one 40, the other one 20, then 28, then 35, then back to 20. Just like this. People talk about predictability because that's what you want to listen. You want to hear words that make you feel safe. That's why working for somebody else, quote unquote, makes you feel safe. Having a business that is predictable, that you're going to make X amount of money per month, that would be amazing. But to have that is not easy, and normally it's not going to happen. It's going to go like this. Sometimes you're going to make maybe, as you're starting, if you're starting, you might make $200 a month. Then maybe the next month you make 800, and then you go back to 500, and then next month you make 600, and then 900, and then maybe 1,200, and you start breaking barriers. It goes like this. But you got to do what you got to do to be able to, at the end, as it fluctuates, connect the dots and see that it's scaling. And that's what I've seen in my business. And it keeps growing. But if we keep believing what people tell us and show us, oh, this is gold, look how it shines, and we fall for that crap, and now the algorithm is great in sharing the things that you consume, and you're going to see more and more people making a lot of money, and it worries me for the future of my kids. And my kids are going to start consuming this, and I'm going to believe that, and I'm going to talk to them to avoid this, but imagine that they start consuming stuff and thinking that because they listen from social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all these social media, people talking about the same thing, that they're right. Because seriously, if I start looking for, whatever, that the earth is flat, I'm going to start seeing videos everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever are people talking on the earth is flat, because the algorithm is seeing that I'm consuming that. Does that mean that that's right? Think about that. Whatever. Think about, before Columbus crossed to Americas, they thought that Earth was a giant tortoise on top of an elephant, I think it was. I don't remember exactly. Or they had this imagination. So imagine that you start consuming from social media, people talking that Earth is a fish, Earth is a tortoise, or it's on top of a tortoise, whatever, that it's, this piece of land, and then you fall over the edges. And you start seeing that everybody talks about that. A mind that is not ready like kids, are going to start thinking that that is reality. So what is happening, and it has been happening for many years now, and I want to expose this to protect you and your business, is to understand that not everything that shines is gold. Because a lot of people are talking bullshit about how to scale a business, how to start a business, how to make a lot of money with a business. So whenever somebody says, make a lot of money, I'm going to teach you how to make a lot of money with your business, run. That's a red flag that the guy is telling you exactly what you want to listen. If they talk about predictability, they're getting you under their paws to then be able to get your money. They don't give a shit about your business. They don't give a shit about you. And they're going to talk very nicely. The other day, I was this guy that was saying, oh, you got to stop charging cheap. You got to start working less and making more money. That guy supposedly is a follower of like a yogi. Like, no, he's not a yogi, but he follows those type of teachings, Buddha and different things. And he has all spiritual things in his website. Showing spirituality on the outside doesn't really mean that you're telling people the truth and that you're being true with yourself. Because I'm pretty sure that this guy has helped a ton of people. And out of a ton of people, maybe 10% have been able to make good money or living money with their business, compared to the other 80 or 90% that haven't. And they're convincing themselves that their method is effective. And the truth is, would you buy a car that there's a 50% chance that it's not going to start? Would you buy a car that has a 70% of chances, the other way around, a 30% of chances on not starting? No, you're going to buy a car that has 100%, 95% maybe of starting or working. And these people are not going to tell you the truth. But what I've seen over and over again is that these people are filling the social media with bullshit because they want to make a lot of money and they don't care, and they convince themselves that what they're doing is right because they have been taught by these douchebags how to manipulate people, and they think that's the right thing. So you got to go back to checking, am I getting results for at least 70, 60, 80% of people in my program? Because if not, I got to start questioning me, my program, not the people in the program. And that's what a lot of people don't have the balls to do. And they're going to blame somebody else because of their own BS. That's ego, again, playing and manipulating people, and manipulating the people inside of the program. The owner of the program is being manipulated by their own ego. Because seriously, I've seen it over and over again. People telling me to my face, oh, Tommy, if people are not getting results, if they're not doing what they need to do, that's not my problem. But you're selling people that you're going to teach them how to make 6 figures in 3 months. How come it's not your responsibility, let's put it that way, if 95% or more, 99% of people in your program are not getting those results? And I've heard this to my face, Tommy, it's their problem for not taking actions. Seriously, it's like, think about that answer for a second. No, there's something wrong with their program. Because if I'm giving you that bold statement, that bold promise that you're going to make 6 figures and I'm going to teach you how to make 6 figures in 3 months, and you're showcasing the people that are making 6 figures in your program, and 90% or more, 90% of people are not getting those results, you got to check yourself. So we got to be very careful, because there's more and more people that are, again, shining nice stuff out there, telling you what you want to listen, and the algorithm keeps feeding that, and then you fall for this bullshit of making money fast, that building a business is really easy, that anybody can do it, that you can just work 1 or 2 hours a day from your computer, from your phone, and you can make X amount of money. How appealing this sounds. Work 1 or 2 hours a day from your phone and make $5,000 a month. Very few people around the world make $5,000 a month. If we look at the population, look it up. Look it up on AI and check how many people make $5,000 a month compared to the whole population. Look, I'm going to do it right now for a second to show you this. How many people around the world make 5K US or more percentage-wise compared to the entire population. Look at this. 1 second, I'm checking this with AI to have a little bit of statistics. Per month, sorry, per month. Per month. Because it asked me per month or per year. So let's check this, because you see it's amazing how we lose, we lose our folk, we lose our north when we hear all of this BS. Look, approximately 10% of adults worldwide, 1 every 10 adults. So 10% of population, that says about 8% of humanity. This comparison compared with the entire world population, including children, adults. 10% of adults make $5,000 a month or more. So the 90% of the rest of the population are making less than $5,000. Oh, but it's so easy. Why not? Work with me and I'll teach you how to make $5,000. So we got to be very careful with this BS out there, because the algorithm is going to feed us more of this crap. And we're going to think that it's easy to make money, and making $5,000 is nothing, that we should, make much more, much faster, charging more, whatever. And a lot of people have not really mastered an area to be able to do that. Nowadays with AI and different things, people just write books, write different PDFs and stuff, and then put it in a course and boom, want to sell that and make a lot of money. Because a lot of people want to work 1 or 2 hours a day and make $5,000, $10,000 a month. But if you look at how much of the population is being able to do that, it's really small. So we got to stop this nonsense out there and start realizing that not everything that shines is gold. And one more thing before we finish, and you can look it up too. Many, many, many years ago, when the gold fever appeared, you know who made most of the money? Not the gold diggers, the people that were selling the shovels, the maps, and the different tools to find the gold. The people looking for the gold. Yes, you could say that there were some people making money. Of course. But compared to the amount of people searching for gold, that was a very few percentage, very small percentage. And this is the same thing. The amount of people that are going to make a lot of money with AI, it's going to be a very few percentage compared to the amount of people that are putting money into learning how to make a lot of money with AI. And that is the same story that is going to keep repeating. Nowadays, what's booming up is AI. So a lot of people are getting into AI because they want to work less, make more money, and just enjoy their life. And of course, it would be great if all the population could enjoy their life. But that's what people want to listen. That doesn't mean that it's entirely true for most people. And that doesn't mean that, in my case, I have 2 businesses, successful businesses. I talk to more and more entrepreneurs that are honest, and they all say that it's a ton load of work. Having a business is not just leaning back, working 1 or 2 hours a day. No, it means working maybe 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, even on the weekends. Yes. But people don't want to listen to that. People want to listen 1 or 2 hours a day, and you can, for 3 months, and you can learn how to make 6 figures and then get passive income and blah, 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 and then just lay down or travel the world and enjoy. How many people are truly doing that is a very small percentage, and that small percentage is living on all the people that they're lying to, manipulating to give them money. And we see that over and again. It happened with gold. It happened with many things along the history of humankind. Now we got AI. And in the future, something new is going to come out. And people are going to start following blindly that new thing that is going to make you make a lot of money in little time and very little work. And there's going to be courses that are going to teach you that. But the people that are going to make a lot of money are the people that are creating the courses for the people to make money, not the people, They're not making a lot of money by doing exactly what they're doing. They're making the money by pretending to teach it. So one more time, remember, not everything that shines is gold. That's why so many business owners fail, destroy their business by following these fake gurus that are telling you that you can work very little and make a lot of money. Look at Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee. They're both going to tell you, and they're multimillionaires, that it is hard work and you need to own a skill really well and start from scratch. Start helping people, serving people, consulting people for free, and start building it from the ground on. There's no true shortcut to build a good business sustainable. I have seen businesses appear, make quite a lot of money, scamming people, lying to people, and then disappear in midair. So I have had a business now from 2003. That business has now 23 years in the market, and it's still holding on. My coaching business now has 8-9 years on the market, and it's still going strong. Why? Because I started building it slowly, not this lies to society, burn myself, make a lot of money, and then disappear. And that's what some people are doing, unfortunately. So be careful. Not everything that shines is gold. So let me know what you think. If you enjoy this, if you find it valuable, let me know on the comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more, to build this community, to share more insight and tools on what the true meaning is of being an entrepreneur, and not these lies that we've been consuming from social media, because I fell for them. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know in the comments. Again, if you're watching, if you can share #live, if you can comment on the video, more people get to see it and more people benefit. That's the only thing that I'm asking for, to get more people to see and be educated in the true meaning of building.